G'day folks, it's the Maple Monkey here again with another Marvel United homebrew battle for you. This time we're going to be revisiting the world of Street Fighter, or Marvel vs. Capcom, since the Marvel vs. Capcom has some of the Street Fighter characters in it, and you can sort of mix and match with your other Marvel United characters as well. So this is going to be looking at a whole range of homebrew characters here that I've developed for that world of Marvel vs. Capcom. We've got a villain and we've got some heroes. You've seen some of the heroes in previous videos, but I believe I've got a new one for you today as well. And just to point out, if this sort of piques your interest, if you're interested in this Marvel vs. Capcom, or at least the Street Fighter world, myself and another designer named Norlith on Marvel United Discord have been working on a few of these characters, and I'm currently in the process of sort of putting them up in the Marvel United wiki as well. So if you go to the Marvel United wiki and look in the homebrew section, you'll see links to some of these characters being put up. I've left Norlith off for the moment just so he can sort of put those up when he's ready and when he's happy with the designs. But at the moment these ones are available, the ones that we're showing off here today as well. So definitely check that out if you're interested. So let's introduce the characters. We've got this is Sagat. He's the villain, and this is my first villain I've designed where I've really sort of tried to stay away from a complicated villain or something really sort of based on sort of a storyline and a theme, and just tried to capture the essence of a nice simple villain fight. So hopefully that will come through in this one here. You guys can let me know, you can be the judge. But yeah, I've been inspired by some of the really smooth battles that we've been playing lately from Nelly, ex-Nelly Nell X, who's been doing some One Piece characters, and Kanji Studios has been doing some great Marvel villains as well, that really sort of capture the essence of those heroes and really feel like a villain that you might come across in normal Marvel United, you know, by the professional designers. So that's what I'm trying for here. We'll see how we go. So we've got 6, 9, and 12 health here, depending on how many heroes you're running. We're looking at 3 today. So Sagat's gonna have 9 health here. And Sagat, King of Muay Thai. So he's basically this big giant kickboxer guy, who is one of the original sort of villains, one of the original bosses in Street Fighter 2. I think he's like the penultimate boss just before you get to M. Bison. So I remember many times being defeated by this guy. So he's quite imposing. And he's the premise behind him, I was going to make him all about Muay Thai, and I was researching all these Muay Thai moves and trying to work that into the game, and then I realized, hold on, no, wait, I'm trying to capture the the video game character. So what he basically does is throws a bunch of high and low fireballs at you called tigers. So he's tiger, but he's basically making you sort of jump and duck and weave, trying to sort of avoid these fireballs. So his special rules, he's got whenever a hero is KO'd, Sagat doesn't activate his BAM. Instead, he plays another master plan card face down in the storyline. So he basically is rewarded for KOing you. So his whole sort of premise is dealing a lot of damage and trying to sort of KO as many heroes as possible, and that's going to result in him sort of playing more of his cards down faster so he can get to the end of his deck. And if you remember from the basic sort of Marvel United rules, if a villain doesn't have their own villainous plot, they're essentially trying to win by running out of cards in their deck, or making you run out of cards in your deck. So if we have a look here, so that's what he's aiming for there. His other special rules are that he's essentially throwing low and high fireballs a lot, these tigers. So he has low attacks and high attacks on a lot of his master plan cards. So heroes may avoid damage from a low attack by revealing a card from their hand with a movement action at the bottom. So you just have to find a movement action at the bottom of one of your cards in hand, reveal that, and you get to avoid the damage. Otherwise it's usually a heavy hit. Heroes may avoid damage from a high attack by revealing a card from their hand with a heroic symbol or heroic action at the bottom. So same thing, just a different symbol you're looking for there. So it sort of represents you jumping over the top of the low attacks and either, I guess, blocking or ducking the the high ones, which I sort of remember that was sort of like a thing in the video game. I could have a foggy memory here, but I sort of remember you had to sort of jump the low ones and somehow or other avoid the higher ones as well. Now, in either case, cards revealed in this way are then placed at the bottom of the hero's deck and a new hero card is drawn. So you basically just sort of cycle through. This does not cause a KO. So the premise, my intent here with this system is that you can't just be KO'd by having to reveal that that card with that specific symbol. You get to do that sort of swapping first, and it doesn't actually, it sort of breaks the normal rules of, whenever you run out of cards, you immediately are KO'd. In this particular instance, that doesn't happen. So hopefully that doesn't break other things in the game, but it doesn't seem to. So his BAM here is that, so he does have these other attacks as well. So this is essentially following his Tiger rules. Okay, so he'll be throwing these fireballs, but that's not his BAM. So he does have some other cards in his Master Plan deck that allow him to BAM, and if that's the case, he deals 2 damage to one hero in his location, and then he moves that hero 1 location clockwise, and so he basically sort of like gives them a big punch and sends them flying. Now, it was interesting, I think it was maybe Rhino. There's another character that sort of does a similar thing, another villain that does something similar, and I read a discussion, a thread somewhere on, I think it was Board Game Geek, where I think the designers came in and actually clarified that if you get KO'd by an attack like this, the intent is that the character still goes flying, and that was kind of what I was thinking here anyway. When I sort of first started playtesting, I realized, oh, that if I KO them, then they're out, they're immediately sort of out, and then they're not affected by any other effects, therefore they wouldn't be thrown further, but apparently the intent is that they do. So for the purposes of this, we'll say that if someone gets KO'd by this attack, they still get sent flying. That may be wrong, but that's what we're running with at the moment. Overflow. So if one or more civilians or thugs can't be added to a location, add 1 to Sagat's health. May go above starting level. So you can see here these are his starting levels, and he'll probably end up with quite a bit more than that when we finally make him vulnerable. So that's and that sort of represents the sort of imposing nature of him and his pride, and the sort of, the more fights he wins, and his reign as sort of the top of the Muay Thai fighters sort of gets more and more, and he sort of has more and more self-belief as he's got more and more fans and that sort of thing. So that's my intent there. So hopefully that sort of translates, and you can sort of see what we're working for there. We'll put his little health on here. We do have just some random locations here. I tried to sort of pick sort of, good sort of fighting locations like the Warrior Falls and the Savage Lands. I thought since he's the King of Muay Thai, we'll put him in the throne room up here. And then, because we've got Street Fighters, we've put them in Queens, just on the street here. And then, because I really like Guile from Street Fighter, I put a few military locations here. So we've got Cape Citadel and, what's this one? Shield Helicarrier. Just because I like Guile, basically. So that's the idea there. Let's have a look at his threat cards. So he's got 2 sets of threat cards. He's got, this is you are too weak. So this is, again, representing how tough he is and imposing. As long as this threat card is in place, Sagat ignores 1 damage per turn. So once you make him vulnerable, he's really tough if you haven't dealt with these. This effect is cumulative with other copies of this card, and there are in fact 3. So if you haven't dealt with these, then he's going to be ignoring 3 damage. So essentially, this sort of makes this you pretty much have to deal with at least a couple of these. Now his other copy is Tiger Uppercut. Now it's a bit of a funny one because it's like an uppercut based on a location, but essentially if he lands here, and again, I'm not sure if this is technically how they usually use these, because it's usually like landing effect and that triggers before he does his BAM and all that sort of stuff. But this is landing effect. Heroes that take damage in this location take 1 extra damage. So you'll notice that with the way that the fireballs work, he doesn't really trigger off these because his fireballs sort of go adjacent to him. So this is really if he's using his BAM and sort of going towards where you are and you happen to be there, he's going to sort of hit you for extra damage if he hits you here. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so there we go. So, and you can see his BAM was dealing 2 damage. So if he hits you here, he's going to be hitting you for 3 damage. He hits you with the big tiger uppercut. So he's got 3 of those. Anyway, so again, you can let us know how you feel about these threats as well. Oops, probably should shuffle these up. And we'll put these out. Okay. And we've got a tiger uppercut in the Warrior Falls. We've got another tiger uppercut in Queens. Oh, well, there you go. We've got 3 tiger uppercuts all along the bottom here. And then we've got You Are Too Weak up in his neck of the woods up that way. Okay, now speaking of his neck of the woods, another really exciting reason I wanted to sort of get Sagat to the table is I recently started investigating, because we've been building these Street Fighter characters. Big Head Chibis, which is has like a Patreon, designed some really cool Marvel United, like a whole range of different sort of characters from different sort of pop culture and different places, including Marvel heroes, and I think they've done some Mortal Kombat now and things like that. So they've got a really cool range of Street Fighter characters. So this is Sagat. So he's actually got a model. So if you like the idea of this homebrew character, you can actually get a pretty cool chibi model. And I shouldn't say pretty cool, I should say really cool, because I really like him. He's really cool. So, and let's have a look at him compared to, well, these guys are pretty big, but let's have a look at him compared to another Marvel United mini. So you can see he's pretty comparable, probably maybe a little bit taller, but a little bit bigger, but this guy is supposed to be really tall. So I'm wondering how, I haven't got any of the other characters, otherwise I would be using them, but my plan is to get some more of basically get all of the Street Fighter characters, and be interesting to see how tall they are in comparison to this guy. But yeah, they're pretty cool. So if they're anything like this guy in terms of the quality of sculpt, I'm going to be really happy. So that's old Sagat there. So we've got him, and as you saw a bit of a preview there, our heroes, we'll see if you can guess who this is going to be in Street Fighter. So probably pretty obvious. This is going to be Dalsim, and Dalsim is actually a new hero. I don't think I've shown him off on the channel yet, so we'll see how he goes. Now this guy, bit of a stretch, but he's got a bit of a bestial face here, and he, being a Thor type character, he's got some lightning, so this is going to be Blanca. So there we go. I told you it would be a bit of a stretch, and I don't know if this guy's as much of a stretch. He sort of is, but he's just a big, bulky fighter, so this is going to be E Honda. Alright, so we've got the thing coming in as E Honda. So I think I've shown off those other characters before. I have done a few little, if you've investigated these homebrew characters before, I have made a few little amendments, clarified some wording on their cards, and I'll point those out as we come across them. But Dalsim I did make as well, and even though I haven't shown him off, if you have seen Dalsim in my homebrew channel or just online, I have sort of pared him back a little bit. He was quite powerful. I think to be honest, I get a lot of feedback from a lot of my designs saying they're too powerful. So if that's the case, apologies for that. I'm trying to sort of rein it in, and so I've tried to do so with Dalsim by changing some of his rules. I did have a rules card for his fireball effects as well, but I've decided to do away with those, and his fire effects are just sort of based off the cards now rather than having tokens and things like that. So if we have a quick look here, I'll come back to these in a second. This is what I think still makes him a little bit sort of overpowered, but we'll see how that goes. So here's Yoga Fire. You can see here this would have done a single punch in the opposite location, and then would have placed a flame token, which essentially then would have wiped out everything in that location, or done 1 damage to everything in that location at the beginning of the villain turn. But now what it does is it basically just does 2 damage, 2 punch damage in the either adjacent location instead of the opposite. So he just sort of fires it into the same one, which is, I think, either very similar or exactly the same as Ryu's fireball, his Hadouken as well, designed by Norlith. Sorry. Now the Yoga Flame, this one again, this was 2 damage in an adjacent location, and then placing a flame token in that location again, sort of clearing the area. What it does now is it's only in his location, and it essentially acts like that Hulk smash sort of ability where it does damage to everything else in the location, and discards the civilians there. So That's how the Yoga Flame works now. Now let's have a look at, so those are his two sort of special cards, special effect cards. He's also got this Yoga Teleport, which lets him sort of move to any other location. This is quite powerful, having the wild there, so I'm still debating whether or not he gets a wild there, or what he gets with that, if anything. But then I couldn't do Dalsim without the stretchy kicks and the stretchy punches, right? So essentially his move and punches and his single punches have this yoga sort of ability where whenever you use punches that turn, he can target adjacent locations. So that's quite powerful. That probably makes him a bit overpowered. I've tried to then pare back the number of actions he's got at the bottom of his cards. So he's on the lower end there, but you guys can sort of judge whether you think this is too powerful or not. But anyway, that's Dalsim. That's a lot of overhead, a lot of discussion, but I did want to show off these new characters here and what they can do. And let's get into it, shall we? So we'll just shuffle up old Dalsim and his friend. We'll just shuffle them up too, and we'll draw our starting hands and get into it. So 1, 2, 3. So Blanca is bringing a punch and a star, another punch and a star. So that'll be handy if we get hit with some high tigers. Oh, and a move. There we go. So we're sort of equipped to deal with this. Now this ground shave roll, this is probably his most powerful card. For every location you enter this turn, gain a wild token. He also, in his new version of this card, it clarifies that you gain these at the end of the turn, so you don't get to sort of keep using them as movements and go again and get another wild and then move again and go, so he doesn't get to sort of do that ad nauseum. He gets these at the end of the turn. So that's his 3. Let's have a look here. And as you could see, I don't know if you saw through me looking at Dalsim's cards there, he doesn't really have a lot of movement at all in his deck, and E. Hondra's similar. I think he's maybe got one more movement than Dalsim, because I noticed that Dalsim seems to be quite a fairly sort of slow moving character, a bit malnourished, I guess, and but he's got that sort of teleport that lets him get around and stuff as well. So, and of course he's got that ability to attack adjacent, so I thought I'd really try and limit his movement to sort of counteract that. So E. Honda, we've got 1, 2, 3. What have we got here? A single punch. And now his sumo smash, I realized with this card it says double punch to a single target. I didn't specify where, so it's supposed to be only in his location. And then if that target was a villain, cancel their next, but basically sits on them and squishes them. Cancel the next movement as long as you are in the same location. Yeah, so that's that one there. And he's got double wilds there, and he's got that punch, so there we go. Alright, so that's what we're bringing to the party, and we'll just have a look at Dalsim. So he's got a yoga kick, he's got a double star, and he's got a single star. Okay, so let's get down to the table and see what Sagat has in store for us. Alrighty then, so I don't know if I've shuffled these, I'll just shuffle them up. He tends to be, because of the way his tigers work, he tends to be very sort of, can be quite a luck-based villain. Sometimes you can get lucky, he just sort of swings and misses a lot, and sometimes he can sort of keep nailing you, so just sort of depends on how it's going. We have a high tiger. Okay, so let's see what he does. Alright, I'll give you a chance to have a bit of a read of that. Alright, so he's going to move clockwise to the next location with no heroes. So he's going clockwise. Next location with no heroes is the Savage Land. Then he's going to deal 2 damage to each hero in the next 3 locations. So he fires the tiger 1, 2, and 3. There is no landing effect here, and in fact the landing effects really only count for if he's sort of doing the close combat, his BAM essentially. So we'll place this down, and we now are being hit with a high attack, so we have to avoid this with heroic symbols. So we'll have a look all the characters are being hit by this, so Blanca has to reveal one of these. He's essentially got 2 copies of this, so he's going to reveal one of those, put it at the bottom of his deck, and draw another one. Now, if that was his last card, like I was saying, in this particular instance, with this particular rule, it would not KO him, and we ended up with a single heroic there. Now, let's have a look. E Honda, he does have now, again, we've got this card here, which I am saying is not something, actually I can't remember what I said at the beginning of the video. I keep going back and forth on it, but I think for the purposes of this video, we'll say that he doesn't get to use these as a star. He's specifically got to have a heroic, okay? And of course, like anything with Homebrew, if you feel like you want to play with the wilds and you want the wilds to count, then of course you can do that, but we'll say you can't. So he's going to have to use this one to avoid the hit. He could choose to just take 2 hits, but I don't think we want to do that. So we'll put that at the bottom and draw a new card. And he's got, well, there you go, he's got two heroics there. Alright. So, also leads to some interesting choices about which cards you want to play during a turn to sort of leave you with a hand that's versatile. Now, let's see, what are we doing here? We're seeing if he's got, oh, he's definitely got stars, doesn't he? So, I guess with this hand here, we probably just want to get rid of that one. So we've got the better cards in our hand, and we've ended up with a Yoga Punch. Okay. So, now, so we've been lucky there, we've avoided those hits. However, he does tend to sort of put out a steady amount of thugs and civilians. So he's going to place out 2 thugs in this location here. And he's going to place 1 in his own location. And he's going to place 2. And we got lucky here, look at this, we've got 2 here. And there's just enough spaces there. Alright, so we got lucky. We didn't suffer too much there. Didn't get any overflows, so he didn't sort of beefcake up, and he also didn't damage us. So yeah, very lucky. Alright, let's see how old Blanca would like to start things off. He's just drawn himself a move and a punch. Alright, so Blanca. What do we want to work on? I sort of want to get around to these. And I also sort of want to start clearing some of these out here, so maybe I'll start heading this way, in which case I should use a movement. I could use a move and a punch and gain myself a star. That could be something that might be worthwhile. So let's do that. I'm going to use the ground shave roll. This one might be better off sort of using it. I wonder if I'm better off saving this for when I can get a couple of movements and really build up a bunch. Yeah, maybe let's do that. Let's be a bit conservative there. We'll use this move and punch. And what we'll do, we'll move Blanca this way, and he's going to spend his punch defeating that thug there. And hopefully that's going to sort of reduce the amount of overflow that's going to happen during the game. And that's going to be Blanca's turn. Alright, now we have, I've just drawn, I think I just drew this one, which was a single heroic. So, Mr. Honda, what do I want to do? I've got the double wild, so I guess that's not a bad thing to play, considering that will leave some heroics there. But what do I want to do with this double wild? Interesting. Do I want to start working on this, or do I want to work on this? Well, let's start making a move. Well, what have we got here? We've got a move, punch, and we've got, alright, let's try this. E Honda. We've got a single move, so we will move here. We've got a punch, so let's take another of these thugs out so that we're not, even if he puts 2 out here, we're not in trouble there. Then let's use this wild as a move. And then let's use this last wild as a heroic and place it on this location. Get started on those. I don't like him when he has a lot of health. I don't like him sort of ignoring health during your turn. So that's what I'm gonna do. It might have been worthwhile sort of. This is a handy location. I think Queens might let you heal, so that might be a good one to get out early. But I do want to head over this way and not get distracted over here, because I know I probably want to take out all three of these. So I maybe want to be more opportunistic about which one of these I'm going to deal with. Alright, so then, look here, Dao Sim, he's going to draw a card. He's got his teleport. Alright, that's interesting. I could use this teleport to get straight over here and start working on these. Or I could save that teleport for later when it might be more useful to get to Sagat if he's causing trouble. So, what have we got? We've got two wilds and we've got this double heroic. Now if I spend the double heroic, then I've got nothing to avoid a high tiger coming up. But let's see what we can do. Well, let's put that here. Right, Dao Sim. He could just stay here and clear this, but I think he wants to head over this way. Or should I work on these? Let's go for it. So we'll go one. This is a movement with the heroic. A second heroic, and then we can clear this location. So let's do that. We've spent our two heroics to clear those two. We'll put this threat card at the bottom just so we can pack that up a bit easier at the end. So he's headed around this way. He's cleared that off. That has cleared one of the threats. Working on that mission as well. Now, what does our end turn thing here say? You may discard one card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. Ooh, now who is this? Is this Dao Sim? Interesting. I don't think any of my three characters here have much in the way of healing. Ooh, do I want to throw one of these away to gain some tokens? This movement is going to help me jump over one of the low attacks if he throws them at me, but this yoga punch might, maybe it's risky. He wants to KO me, so if I do anything to make myself KOable, that's risky. But also knowing Dao Sim not having much movement, maybe if I can get him a move and a punch, that might pay off at the end of the game. Let's risk it. All right, so we will put this at the bottom. This could lead to a KO, but we'll see how we go. We'll put that at the bottom. Playing risky. Okay. Put that at the bottom, and I will gain a punch and a move token. Is that right? So you may discard one card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to gain a punch and a move token. Yeah, let's do it. Alright. There we go. So, is that going to come back to bite us? We'll find out. Well, speaking of coming back to bite us, here is Sagat. What's he up to? Let's have a look. I'll hold that there for a little while and see what he's doing. Alright, he's going to... Oh, he's moving counterclockwise. I think this is actually working in our favour. Yeah, he's going to throw a high, but he's going counterclockwise. So, he's going to head this way, counterclockwise, and he's going to throw his tiger 1, 2, 3. So we've stepped in the right direction there. However, he has put down... He wants to put down 2 civilians in this location. He can only put 1, so that's going to be an overflow there. He puts 1 in here, not quite an overflow, but it does fill up the location. And then we've got nothing left to put here, so the civilians that would go down there cause another overflow. So he is receiving 2 extra health. So you can see, even if he has a turn where he's not, you get lucky and he misses and he sends it the wrong way, he's still pretty consistently going around and filling these places up pretty quickly. So his health should be pretty formidable by the time he gets there. So, yeah, not the worst turn, but also a bit troubling. He's got 2 more health now, so he's coming in at 11, I believe. Now, let's see. We have And we have Blanca's turn. I think I'll draw a card. And Blanca's drawn a move and a punch. Alright. So, Blanca, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Maybe we'll use these two to team up and clear these locations. Maybe Blanca can just deal with the... Although he's got a couple of stars here. What's he going to do with those? Maybe he can do some rescuing? Or is he going to work on one of these? Very interesting question. The ground shave roll doesn't seem great because we've got 2 stars coming into this turn, so that's not going to give him much extra movement there. Let's do... Should we do this move and punch? Or do we just stay there and clear this completely? That might be worth it. Do we move and punch and come over and start working on this? Or do we just clear this one? Maybe let's just clear that. That's an interesting proposition. I might... Oh no, let's use it because we want to work on these thugs, don't we? So let's do it. Let's put the punch and the heroic down. That will let us clear this location and allow us to punch one of these thugs. That's pretty good. And this says you may punch in this location. Well, there you go. We'll take another thug out. Alright, that's pretty good. Pretty good progress. Now, that was just with our first hero too. Alright, so, Honda, what have you got for us? Let's draw a card. We've got a wild. Just draw a wild. Okay, we'll do a... Where are you, buddy? You're over here. I suppose I want to keep working this way, don't I? So I need a movement. Do I have one? Oh, I don't. I do not have movement there, so I'm going to have to use my wild maybe. Let's do that. So what do I want to punch here? I might punch this thug with my punch from that card. Then I'm going to use this wild to step in here, and I'm going to place one heroic down on the "You Are Too Weak" card. I'll show you who's weak, Mr. Sagat. Alright, there he goes. I think I'm about to cop an elbow or a knee to the face here. Okay, so we've done that. So he's moved. He's done a punch in this location. He's put a star on that one. And then we have Dowsim. I'm going to save these like a squirrel. Save them for a rainy day. Okay. Save those move and punch tokens. And we've just drawn a card. So now we're down a card with Dowsim. He sort of did some fasting or something and took a hit over here. He's drawn himself a single wild as well. So we could do something similar where we step in. We've got this yoga kick thing happening. Don't want to use the teleport yet. If we save the movement card, we can use that to dodge a low one. So maybe let's just use this single wild. Not use the teleport yet, don't think we need to. Now, which way do we want to go? Yeah, okay, we'll go this way. So, oof, boy, we're not achieving much here, aren't we? Yeah, we're getting close with these, so maybe let's, Boy, you know what, if we head here, then 2 heroes should be able to clear this pretty easily soon enough. Although we've got to clear a whole extra one as well, don't we? It's not just the one. So I was thinking maybe of clearing this, but let's do it. Let's put another heroic down. Yeah, alright, let's do that. What's he up to next? What is he going to do? He's going to... I think it's his turn. Yep, I think I've done everything there, haven't I? Yeah. Do I want to clear one of these guys? I feel like if he moves away from there, he's likely to fill that space with 2 anyway. So even if I take 1 token off there, I'm still overflowing. So I think we'll leave it. All right. So what's he going to do? He's doing some sort of. Is he bamming or is he doing a tiger? Let's see. What's he doing? He's going to move clockwise to the next location. So he's bamming. Oh, lucky we got rid of that target location too. So he's going to fly around this way. He's going clockwise to the next location with any heroes. Then he's going to do his bam, which is deal 2 damage to 1 hero in his location, and then move that hero 1 location clockwise. So he comes in, hits us with the uppercut, but not quite the the special. Maybe he just hits us with some sort of tiger punch or something. And then, let's see. So he hits us with the bam. That's 2 damage. So I should be taking the damage before I go flying, but who is this? Blanca. Alright, so Blanca's taken 2 hits. Now I can't avoid this by revealing a card. This is just a straight up 2 hits. So, maybe do we save the ground shave roll and we lose these 2? So I might put the punch and the movement on top there. So we'll put that, slide that underneath. So we've only got 1 card left with Blanca. Alright, and he's going to place out, now with this attack he only places out the single thug or civilian in each location. So he's going to place 1 here. When I say each location, I mean sort of in his location and each adjacent. So we got lucky there because we did clear that 1 over here. That stopped another overflow, so that's pretty handy. So that's we got away with not too much damage there. That was a big hit though. It was a big hit. Speaking of big hits, let's have a look at what Mr. Blanca is going to do. He says, thanks for the free movement over here. I don't have to spend any movement to get here now. But he's only drawn a single punch here, so that's not great. What have we given him? We've got a movement, not a movement, we've got a wild over there, so we could move a couple of times and get some wilds. Oof. What else are we doing otherwise? We've cleared that. I definitely want to work on these. So I don't really want to work on these threats if I can avoid it. I mean, they're not great for being hit if we're standing there, but I'd rather spend my heroics on getting rid of those. Where do we need to start clearing? Do I just stay there and sort of punch and rescue, or I still think I need to save that for a more opportune time. So this doesn't feel like I'm making much progress with Blanca here, but we'll rescue and punch. So there we go. Really making sure that this is a location we don't have to worry about for a while. So E Honda, he's got himself a move and a punch. Okay. He's got a lot of options here. Look at that. He's got a hand full of choice. Now, E Honda, do you want to finish this off and start on that one, or do you want to finish this off and start clearing? That's the question. If we do the movement, the only one I've got with the movement is a punch, so that's not going to give us any heroics that we need to clear stuff with. So let's not use that. Let's maybe use this double star, because the double star could be useful for Dal Sim actually. So yeah, let's do that. Let's combo these together. All right. So E Honda's going to use his star power, his fame as a wrestler here, sumo wrestler, to finish off this location. So that was one of the stars. That's going to earn us another threat cleared. Put that underneath. Alright. Bop, bop, bop. And we'll use a punch to defeat another thug. And we'll use another star to rescue that civilian. Another heroic. And we're sort of doing pretty well keeping these pretty close together, so we should be able to knock those over relatively close together. Now this says you may move any other hero to a location adjacent to them. Interesting. So we could move Dalsim over here. Yeah, any other hero. I could even do it with Blanca, but I think we're going to use the Thrones command to send Dalsim over this way. That gives him, doesn't have to spend any movement to get there. So we can start working on that threat. Alright, that's the plan. Alright. So, what is Mr. Honda? No, not Honda. What is Mr. Dalsim going to do? Dalsim, we're not under pressure yet, are we, with old Sagat? So he's got himself a yoga kick, a couple of yoga kicks here, and he's got his yoga teleport. So we'll save that teleport for down the track. I guess we're using a yoga kick. Now the problem here is we don't have enough. I mean, if we use the yoga teleport, we'd have enough to clear this, but then we're still not really. Yeah, so let's do a yoga kick. Or do we? If we use the teleport, then we can clear this and we get the benefit of this ability. But I want to hold on to that teleport. So let's do this. So we don't have to use the movement yet. Let's have a look here. What do we want to do? We can use 2 of the heroics to get close to finishing this one off. Then we can. I wonder if it would have been better actually to move him, because then we still could have used the movement to get Dalsim here, and then Blanca would have had more of a chance to get here. So maybe let's do that. Yeah, you know what? Let's go back to this guy's turn. I think this is a better move. Let's move him. Hashtag retroactive going back on our turns, but let's move Blanca here, just so he's a bit closer to here and he can then use Dalsim's movement. I think that's a smarter play. So let's go, who do we, and then okay, so we've moved him, because we can use anyone, can't we? You may move any other hero to a location adjacent to them. Yeah, so we can just move Blanca there. Then we just got to hope Blanca survives, right? But anyway, Dalsim's going to use his movement to end up here. He's going to use his 2 heroics to put the 2 heroics there, and then he's going to punch one of the thugs. Again, do I just double down on this location, or do I hit here? I think I'll just hit here. Alright, so there we go. Alright, and we are now close to putting him under pressure and vulnerable. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, let's check out what Sagat does to thwart our plans here. Alright, Sagat is going to, I think he's going to do some sort of a fireball here, some sort of a tiger. Alright, tiger, he's going to do moving counterclockwise. So, uh-oh. Alright, I hope we've got the right cards here. He's going to step in here. I think we got lucky with the placement. We are going to get 1 overflow. He's going to deal 2 damage to each hero in the next 3 locations counterclockwise. So he basically, with these tigers, he always moves either counterclockwise or clockwise, and then fires through 3 locations in either direction here. So this time we're going counterclockwise. So let's have a look. So old E Honda's getting hit first here. E Honda, this is a high, is it? Yeah, it's high. So we have to reveal a star. Luckily, we've just got this star here, so let's get rid of this, and we might get an even better card. Alright, so he's able to get rid of that. Oh, and we've got 2 punches. Alright, not too bad, not too bad. Now, as we come around, Dalsim gets hit. Now Dalsim, he's in a bit of trouble here. We're saying that the heroic, the wild doesn't count. You have to specifically show that symbol. I haven't specified that on the card here, but if I decide to go in that direction, I'll have to specify that. But yeah, that is not going to avoid a high. So this comes around counterclockwise. So these are going to go to the bottom. So oh man, we've lost that teleport too. That's a shame. I'll put that towards the top, I guess. So there we go. He gets KO'd. So Dalsim KO'd, and that is going to play another master plan card out here. Then the tiger keeps coming around to Blanca. Oh, has Blanca only got the one card? Uh-oh. And we needed a we needed a high. That's another KO. All right, so that goes to the bottom. Is that our ground? That's our ground shave roll as well. Uh-oh. Now we're in a bit of trouble. All right, so he is KO'd, and our thumbs were getting tired. We were trying to dodge the attacks here, and we finally didn't jump in time. All right, so that's another KO. That one goes out here. Then, if we come back down here, we've got his placement. So he's going to put a couple of thugs in this spot. This is right, isn't it? Because he went counterclockwise. Oh no, wait, where was he? Was he here and he went this way? Yeah, I think that's right. Alright, I didn't mess that up. So he's putting two here. He's putting two here and we're like, ha, happy days. No problem. But he is also putting one in his location, and that's where we get the overflow. So he's getting another health. So I think he's up to 12. Is that right? Sounds about right. Okay. Boy, oh boy. All right. So he's hit us with a 1-2 combo there. And, well, we've got to make good on this now because he is very close to becoming under pressure and vulnerable. So let's make sure we make the most of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We draw 4 when waking back up from being KO'd. We do have a move and a punch here to work with, so at least we're able to step in and maybe work on this. And the punch is handy because we can, if we can get a heroic in this hand, we can clear this and this in the same breath and put him under pressure, but also making him vulnerable. So that's not too bad. And then it'll be E Honda's turn, and E Honda is close here, so he can start working on him. Alright, well, let's see. Alright, what have we got? We've got a movement. We've got a wild. Well, that'll help. Oh, and we've got the double wild. Alright, so I think we know what we're going to play. That's pretty good. Again, playing, I guess it's, some people call it standard. I guess it is standard mode, but it's also, some people consider it easy mode, so your mileage may vary here, but we've also got Blanca Ball, which is pretty cool as well. So this one lets him move and do a double hit. I really like the art on that one there too. It's really pretty cool. I guess we're going to do this one though, because we do need that heroic, don't we? And if we've got this, then this will really let us do a bunch of stuff. So, because that's really going to help E Honda out as well. So let's do it. So Blanca is going to hit back hard after taking a huge wallop from Sagat. He's going to step in with the movement. He's going to do a single punch. Now where's this punch? I think we'll do it here. Punch here. That is going to put Sagat under pressure, so he'll be going every 2 hero turns. So only E Honda is going to get a turn now before Sagat goes again. But that was with the move and the punch. Now we've got 2 heroics. So sorry, 2 wild. So we'll use one of them as a heroic to clear this location. So that goes over here. That's going to clear that threat. So there's still 2 more threats left if we choose to get rid of them. Alrighty then. And we've got a long way to go if we want to clear the 3rd mission though. We've got to do a lot of rescuing. But considering we're going to be hunting him down, try and punch him, any stars that we're forced to play, I guess, are going to be useful for working on that. So I guess we're not having completely dead turns. Okay, so we've done the 1 heroic there, and we can use the last heroic to rescue, as we talked about. Or we could move. We could move. Interesting. This says you may move to any other location, so we could go straight to him, but we don't know where he's going to be after that, right? So what we could do, instead of rescuing this civilian here, we could step in here This will allow us to, you may move any other hero to a location adjacent to them, so then we can move E Honda over here, and then E Honda can use both wilds as attacks rather than having to use one as a movement. So that's not too bad at all. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, so things are looking pretty good. We've got a bit of locations that look like they're going to overflow a bit, so we've got to be careful with that, because we'll be doing damage and then he'll be healing back up again, so that's interesting. E Honda. E Honda draws... Yeah, E Honda draws a card. It's his turn. That's right, isn't it? Blanker, E Honda, Dalsim, Blanker, E Honda, Dalsim, Blanker, E Honda, Dalsim, Blanker, and E Honda. Yep, alright, so let's do it. What are we doing? Drawing a card? Yep, we've got the 3. So, because yeah, E Honda was the only one left standing after that that tiger before. Alright, so what does he wants to punch you. Oh, well here we go. Look at this. Boy oh boy. Talk about laying the smackdown. Alright, so only downside to playing this card is who's coming up next. Dalsim's not going to get much of a movement to try and track him down. But he might have moved by then anyway, so hopefully this is going to work out in our favour. This is going to let us hit him for 4. That's amazing, so that's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a big hit. That is a big hit, and I'll take it. Alright. Or he'll take it, I guess. Okay. So there we go. The 2 combatants locked in battle. Street Fighter. Round 1, fight. Alright, so that's a pretty hefty hit. But now it's Sagat's turn. So what is he going to do? He is going to do another tiger. He's going to move clockwise. So he's coming this way. Oh no, I think he hits all 3 of us again, except that Dalsim is playing possum. He's still down. Alright, so oh no, he doesn't hit us because he's going this way. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're very lucky there. We've sent these flying, and he's going to be doing 1, 2. He's going to be doing damage here, here, and here. And luckily, this guy is, like we said, he's playing possum. So, move clockwise and fire it clockwise. So, yep, we've avoided that. He is, however, going to put a. He's going to put 1 civilian here. He's going to put 2 civilians here. And he is going to try and put 2 civilians over this way, in which case he's gaining a health. So, lost 4, but he's gained 1 back. So that's not a bad rate for us at the moment. And we have dealt with those you are too weak cards, so he's not absorbing a damage every turn. So this is pretty good. I think we're doing alright. Okay, so hopefully you can see how he sort of plays out and how he's going. You know, obviously some areas that you know we could tweak to sort of adjust the difficulty. Like he could be gaining health for every token you can't place out, rather than just 1 health per location, regardless of how many overflows there are in that location. Yeah, we've got, you know, he could be a bit more targeted with the way he shoots the things, rather than being sort of random 50-50 going this way or that way sort of thing. But I've played enough with him that I sort of know that it kind of, you know, it sort of evens out sort of thing, and you sometimes get some games where he misses you quite a bit, and sometimes he just keeps hammering you. So I'm kind of happy with where he is sort of at that stage. So, and I've had a lot of games where he's like really difficult to sort of take down because he keeps healing back up, and some games where you know you can get him pretty easy. So you guys can let me know how you feel. So whose turn is it next? I think it's Dalsim's turn. He's got his little tokens here. He's going to wake up, and what's he going to do? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we've got to remember we've got these. Alright, so up he gets. Now he is in a bit of a... He's a bit at a distant spot, isn't he? He's got a single heroic. He's got his double wild. That's pretty good. He's got a yoga flame, so he can do. Now we have to remember this. The new version of this card is that he does the yoga flame in his location, so that's not as effective as it might seem. This could be useful. Do we have the movement? No, we don't. He's got his yoga punch, but he doesn't have a movement with it, so that's going to mean that he can't use that against Sagat. We do have this double wild. So we've got a few options here. We could do the double. So the double wild, the beauty of that is it's not going to get us to Sagat, but it will allow us to, say, move, punch a bunch of these guys just to clear the locations. And then if we end here, then we can move someone a bit closer so their turn can be a bit better. Who's that going to be? Blanca. So that could be good, especially giving him double wilds. Otherwise, the other option I thought is I could use the yoga punch, and that way all three of my attacks can be fired into this location, and then I can move wherever I want. But I think I'm still going to be able to do quite a bunch of punches in this location anyway if I play this, and it gives Blanca a better turn. So let's use that. Oh, I did forget that I've also got these too. Interesting. After I made a big deal about trying to remember that I had these, I forgot that I've got them. So this is interesting. Because with this, I can use 1, 2, 3 movement to actually get there and still be able to dish out 3 damage to him. And then I probably don't need to worry too much about this location and using it, ending here and using it to send him this way, because he's already got 2 wilds. That's going to move him pretty far anyway. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to use, we save these for a rainy day, and I think it's going to come in very handy. So we're going to use the movement to move once. We're going to use our 2 wilds to move again. 1, 2. We're going to use 2 punches. Oh my goodness. This is an amazing location. You may punch in this location. It's not just on thugs. Oh, mate, Sagat, you are in trouble. So we're now going to spend 1, 2, 3, plus the punch here to do 4 damage. Oof. Mate, Sagat, you are not long for this world at the moment. How much has he got left? Oh man. And then if Blanca can get there, I think he's almost got him, because he's only got the 5 health. Considering we're going to be doing at least 1 extra damage here, this is nasty. All right, so, well, speaking of speaking of Blanca, he's got his electric thunder. Do we have enough movement to get there? All right, so this one, he doesn't give anything to the next player, and he basically sort of stays still, but he zaps the villain. So what have we got? We don't have enough. Oh, we do have enough movement. Wait. Alright, I think actually the blanket ball is better, but we'll have a look. Okay, because he's got 2 wilds, so that's 2 wilds is 1, 2. Then he can zap him for 3. And then the location would do 4, leaving him on 1 health. So that's option 1. If we use Blanca Ball, though, is that going to achieve the same result? Blanca Ball is going to be 1, 2... Sorry, yeah, I think it is. It's going to be 1 movement, so we could get here. Then we could do 1 more movement with the wild, and then... yeah, 1 more movement with the wild, and then the 2 attacks and the wild here to essentially do 3 damage plus 1 for the ending in that location, so that's 4 damage. Sagat, you chose the wrong place to take your stand, buddy. But I do think that the Electric Thunder is probably better in the long run, because it's a tough one. It doesn't give anything to the next player, so that's potentially a lethal thing, whereas the Blanca Ball gives a movement. And old Honda, he might want that movement, but the Electric Thunder is my favourite move from the video game when I was a kid, so that's one. And and it does stun the henchman or villain. Until your next turn, stun any henchman or villain that enters your location. Ooh. So he's likely not to be entering my location. He's probably more likely to be leaving my location. So that's... Oh, yeah. Okay, let's do the Blanker Ball then. Alright. We'll get more out of it. So let's do Blanker Ball. So, Blanker is going to spend 1 movement, then 1 wild. Then he's going to use a wild and 2 punches to do 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. He's also then going to use the location to do 1 more damage. And Sagat, I think your number is up, buddy. I don't think there's going to be much you can do to come back from this. But we'll keep going. We'll keep going because he is going to have a turn. I'm getting cocky. Alright, so... 1, 2, yep, 1, 2, 3. What's he got? Yep, 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 cards each. Yep. We're looking good. Alright, what's he going to do? He's doing some sort of a tiger. Alright. Oh, man, he has really... Oh. Well, I mean, okay. Okay, I think we've still got him, but... Boy, if he was going to try and really buff himself up, this is the way he wants to do it. He's moving this way, so he's moving counterclockwise. The bad news for him is that he's going to miss everyone with his tiger. Alright. And it would have been a low. Would he have jumped out of the way? He would have jumped it. He would have jumped it. Old Dalsim would have... he would have got tripped up. Alright. But they each had the 4... they each had the 3 health anyway, so... Alright, so Sagat places that down, but what he is going to do is he wants to place thugs down around him, and all 3 locations are full up, so that's going to be 3 health that he's gaining back. 1, 2, 3. So that is going to put him back on 4, but I don't think... I think with two hero turns coming up, with all the heroes being relatively close by, especially considering we've given a movement, I think we are still looking pretty good for this next round of heroes. So, Blake has had his turn. E Honda. Oh, man. Oh, wait. E Honda. Oh, yes. Okay, E Honda is... Okay, this is perfect. Perfect. All right. So, probably hasn't... this isn't the greatest showcase for how difficult Sagat can be. But... And also probably showing maybe my heroes being too overpowered. But let's have a look at how this card works. So we've got the 100 hand slap, which is probably my second favorite move from the game. So E Honda's fists become a blur, and it's actually a side note before we get into it, because I think we're about to have a KO here. The Big Head Chibi models that Sagat has come from here, and I'll put a link if I can in the video. They've made a model for E Honda, and he's actually got sculpted. His hands are sort of in a blur, and he's got like 3 or 4 hands sort of going like this sort of thing. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, this 100 hand slap, it does 2 damage at the bottom, but also if you don't move this turn, which he's already in that location, perfect, he gets another 2 attacks as his hands become a blur, a frenzy of palm slaps. So, and that is all we needed. We needed 4 hits, I think, and that's going to do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's his card. I've got his cards over here. So pop him down there. Old Sagat gets taken down. No longer the king of the Street Fighter tournament. And E Honda has proven the supremacy of sumo as a style. So, there you go. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that sort of showed off how Sagat works. He does... I'll have to sort of have a look at sort of how he goes. I'm pretty happy with him. This particular game went pretty easy on the heroes. I've definitely seen it go the other way quite a bit. Yeah, whether or not the tweaking, whether or not we need to sort of make his health higher to start with, or again, yeah, like maybe have having his overflows build up more health, something like that could be an interesting way of sort of just giving him a bit more toughness. But again, I've seen plenty of iterations of this battle where the heroes are really struggling sort of to take him down, and they run out of time as well. So because he does, you know, a lot more KOs on his way, sort of thing. So interesting. But yeah, that's how he goes. If you like the look of him, he's available on the to download just on the Marvel United wiki or in the Marvel United Discord as well. So yeah, definitely check it out. You know, if you do have a go with him, maybe I recommend trying him out. You know, just like a home print sort of version to see how you like him. Give us some feedback and that sort of thing, and you know, if you are happy with him, then the pro print files are there too with the you know, the bleed, so you can get the cards and that sort of thing. In terms of the dashboards, I don't know if there's any bleed on the dashboard, so in terms of getting them professionally printed, I haven't tried that yet, but I'll let you guys know if I sort of have any success with that. But yeah, hope that was good fun. That's Street Fighter for you, or Marvel versus Marvel versus Capcom United, and yeah, more heroes and villains on the way. Now that I know that Big Head Chibis are making a bunch of models for these guys, definitely keen to sort of do some more. They've already got models for Ken and Chun-Li and Ryu, so I'd like to do some Chun-Li and Ken rules as well. But yeah, we've definitely got Ryu, who's been made by Norlith. They've got models for Dalsim. They've also got models for E Honda, and they're just about to announce, I don't know if he's available yet, I think he might be coming next month, is Zangief, who's another fan favorite. I'd like to sort of bring some rules in for him as well. And just if you, I think Norlith mentioned as well, sorry guys, just a brief aside, I think he mentioned he might be sort of taking a run at Dalsim as well, but doing a villain version of him, so he might be quite a fun, tricky one to take on as well. So yeah, lots of stuff going on there, and I'm very hopeful. It seems like Big Head Chibis might also be making models for Brute Force, so if you've been following that and the Brute Force models that I've been making, I shouldn't say the models I've been making, the rules, the cards I've been making, but not really designing, because a lot of the rules designing has been done by the Marvel United Discord community. But we're very excited to have some cards finally available for Brute Force, and we might even be. It looks very certain like we're getting the Brute Force models coming from Big Head Chibis down the track as well. So really keeping my fingers crossed for that. So looking really cool. So yeah, definitely check them all out. Keep checking out all the homebrewers. Hope you guys, those lucky ducks who got to go to Gen Con. I'm not jealous at all. And pick up your copies of Spider-Geddon. Hope you guys are enjoying those. Definitely check out if you're salivating at the thought of new official Marvel United content. Definitely check out Kanji Studios. He's been putting up some videos with the Spider-Geddon characters. I think One Stop Co-op Shop, who he often collaborates with as well. They've been doing their own videos as well, and they've probably even been doing some collaboration ones as well, if I'm thinking about it properly. Yeah, so definitely check out all that stuff. Check out the homebrew space. Dave's doing some great stuff with his InDesign templates and his Rogues Gallery, Sinister Six fight, Helios and Norlith and Nelly Nell. They've been keeping up with their different sort of homebrew avenues as well, doing some great stuff. So yeah, check it all out. Anyway, well, I hope this was fun for you though, the Street Fighter stuff, and we'll catch you next time. Maple Monkey out.